Bueno, vamos a empezar la página 66, la actividad G. Part 2. Here we go for the hard part. Um, you had a lot of trouble with this. The only way that you can be successful with this type of an activity where you are filling in words for a conversation between people is to translate the conversation into English. That's that's the only way you can do it. You have to translate it and translate it into English. Fill in the word the Spanish word that you believe will make sense, and then you have to translate the Spanish sentence that you wrote and see if it's going to make sense in English. Okay? So let's look at number one. Well, we look at the activity, and Andres and David are speaking, and as I glance down, those are the only two speakers. So they're going to be speaking to each other. They'll be using te, and in a response, they'll be using me. But remember, you've also got some pronouns in here that you're going to be including. So let's check out. First one, I need to translate it. So Andres says, David, who gave the menu? Who gave the menu? I think everybody got this one wrong. Got this one right. Got this one right. Who gave the menu to you? ¿Quién te dio el menú? David's response. This was your mistake in that you weren't thinking about what you wrote in Spanish, what you wrote and how it would be translated. The waiter gave. The waiter gave what? The waiter gave the menu, but the menu is not in this sentence, so I have to clarify it. So it would be the waiter gave it. And what is the word for it that matches menu? Lo. Two ways to answer this. The best way is el mesero me lo dio. The waiter gave it to me. You could have written el mesero lo dio. The waiter gave it. You wouldn't have to have the to me. You have to have the lo. Many of you wrote el mesero me dio. As written, that means the waiter gave me. It doesn't mean the waiter gave something to me because we'd have to name the something. It. Did the waiter give you? The waiter did not give you away. So it can't be el mesero me dio. The waiter gave me. The waiter gave it to me. All right, number 3. I know this was the mistakes that you made. They were quite comical. All of you made the same mistake, so it was laughter after each paper because laughter on the next one. Okay, so I know that you always ask for, where's the for? Thank you, in the verb. I know that you always ask for chicken. How did you ask for this time? How did you ask for what? How did you ask for you? How did you ask for you? You didn't ask for. How did you ask for me? No, 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 no. How did you ask for it? Referring to pollo. So plain old lo. You can't put me in there. How did you ask for it to me? May doesn't go in there. If you put te, how did you ask for it for you? That doesn't work either. Plain old lo. All right, number 4. I asked for roasted. I asked for roasted. meaning he asked for roasted chicken. If you wrote, me pedí asado, you said, I asked for myself roasted. You asked for roasted taco. You asked for roasted gracia. You didn't ask for yourself roasted. It was the chicken. So it should be plain old lo. Lo pedí asado. I asked for it. That's what you asked for. I asked for it. And then the asado is description. All right, number 5. And they served it roasted or fried. Oops. And they served roasted or fried. Well, the answer would be, what did they serve? If you wrote, yo me sirvieron, if you wrote y me sirvieron, that's they served me fried or roasted. If you wrote te, just plain old te, that would be, and did they serve you, meaning you being cooked? So the answer is, and did they serve it to you roasted or fried? Te-lo. You could omit the te, and you would still have a right answer. Did they serve it roasted or fried? If I marked your paper wrong and you had the word only, the word lo, on line 5, then you have a correct response and I will give you an extra point. But if you have Melo, that's good. Or if you have Talo, Talo is good. Or plain old low. You can't have Tay by itself. Number 6, the response. They served roasted. What did they serve? They didn't serve a person. They served to a person. So it would be, what did they serve? Chicken. We're talking about chicken. So it would be, lo sirvieron asado. Lo sirvieron asado. Or you could say, me lo sirvieron asado. Number 7, if you put me, you said they prepared me very well. Put you on a platter, roasted you just fine. Probably put a cover on top of you to keep you warm till you got to the table. No. They prepared it. Correct. So you would have lo prepararon bien. Me gustó. Number 8. Who recommended blank? Who recommended the restaurant? Who recommended the restaurant to you? ¿Quién te recomendó el restaurante? If you wrote lo, you were saying who recommended it, the restaurant. Didn't work. ¿Quién te recomendó? Who recommended it? Who recommended the restaurant to you? Te. And the answer is Carlota. And the next one says Carlota recomendó. So Carlota recommended, it would work. Plain old it. Lo. Carlota lo recomendó. Or you could say, Carlota recommended it to me. So you could have, me lo recomendó. You can't have me, because if it's recommended me, she's recommending you to someone else. That's not it. Number 10. Pues, ¿qué dices? ¿Recomiendas a mí o no? Well, what do you say? Do you recommend to me or not? Hey doesn't work. If you put, it says, well, what do you say? If we put Tay in there, do you recommend you to me? We're talking about, what are we talking about? The restaurant or the chicken, okay? Restaurant or chicken. Those are the two things we're talking about. I suspect we're talking about the restaurant. So, do you recommend the restaurant? What's the pronoun that goes with restaurant? Lo. So it would be pues. ¿Qué dices? ¿Lo recomiendas a mí o no? It's got to be lo. Do you recommend it? Now, if you put may lo, do you recommend it to me? And then look at the end of the sentence. To me or not? You don't want the may up front and the a me at the end. That's redundant and it's ridiculous. It's illegal. Can't do that. Do you recommend it? Because the a me is already at the end. And the lo, as I said, it works for restaurant. That's what was last mentioned. Number 11. Yes, yes, I recommend. What does he recommend? It. That would be lo recomiendo. What else would be acceptable? Yes, I recommend it to you. So te lo works. I recommend it to you. Or sí, lo recomiendo. Yes, I recommend it. Plain old lo. If you have lo on your paper and that's on that line and that's the only response you have on that line, and if I marked it wrong, save it, you get an extra point. I'll give you the point that I erroneously took away, but I think I didn't do that. You can't say may. Yes, I recommend me. In my opinion, it's really good. I recommend myself. No. Yes, I recommend you. Tay by itself doesn't work. May doesn't work. It's either lo or tay lo. Whew. Yes, those are challenging, very challenging. You are capable of doing them if you translate into English and then process in your mind what the answer would be in English and how would you express that in Spanish. Challenging, yes. You are capable. Yes. All right, on pages 68, 69, you did a great job. Very few errors. Let's look at page 70. Woohoo! I'm under 15 minutes by about a minute and a half. On page 70, all writings at the end are expected to be five lines. So if you had 5 lines, then you received 2 points per sentence if your sentences were all correct. Each sentence is worth 2 points. If you wrote more than 5 sentences, not lines, if you wrote more than 5 sentences, then you have the opportunity to earn extra credit. And but in writing extra sentences, you had to have no errors. Okay, and someone wrote some wonderful ideas in numerous sentences, many more than 5. But in the numerous sentences that were written, there were more than 2 mistakes. So that person did not get extra credit. And that person may have had some points taken away. Okay, that's enough for the workbook, and I will have another video on this week's activity. Stop recording.